think I'm live. All right. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, everybody? It's Harley, EpicTube HD. We're back at you with another epic TCG show. Episode 4 is going to be in the books here any moment now. We've got our first guest of the show on for the night. And in fact, it's not only our first, it's our only guest, because that's what we do. We got one guest for the show, guys, one guest. And it is none other than Allycatastrophe. Let's welcome her in, everybody. A big round of applause for Allycatastrophe. What's going on?
Hey, how's it going, Harley?
I'm good. We are live on both TikTok and Instagram right now. Hey, what is going on? Cisco Castillo, what's going on, my friend? Welcome. We're streaming on both platforms. This is the first time I've decided to stream the show to both TikTok and the YouTube. So how are you doing this evening, Ally?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
So far, so good. It's another stressful night of being the producer, the director, the executive. Yeah, I got to pay for my drink and yeah.
Oh,
How are you doing?
no, you got this.
The
You
host,
got
all
this.
that
We're
fun
gonna
stuff.
have so much fun.
Oh man, so I've been so excited to finally get to meet you because, as you well remember, at the beginning of this year, we both were accepted by the Pokemon Company to be content creators and come on out for the Pokemon Worlds. But something happened. What happened?
Honestly, it was just life got in the way. I have two children. So I have a 7-year-old and a 2-year-old. And my mom is a theatrical performer. So she ended up going away, getting a last minute gig, doing something. So I wouldn't have had child coverage. My partner was busy with work at the time. I ended up getting some.
Whoops. I screwed that up.
Oh,
Sorry. My
all
keyboard.
good.
It's a keyboard issue. Sorry. I was typing to somebody in TikTok and it did that. My bad.
No worries. Yeah, it was just honestly just too many things at once that just prevented me from being able to go, and such is life. So I'm hoping next year
Oh,
we'll all be able to get together.
I'm hoping so too. I know I think they've already started working on their 2025 list of creators. Of course, you've got the really big dogs that are, way
Yeah.
ahead of all of us. So,
Yeah.
but you're pretty far up there when it comes to Instagram. I mean, you're sitting
Thank
right
you.
now. I mean, I know your YouTube account, you're growing it. Which is kind of funny because when I was like looking up your past, not like in a bad way, but looking up your past, it's like when you say it to somebody, you're kind of like, you're doing what now?
Yeah.
When
No,
I
all
was
good. I totally get it.
So when I was looking up your
Yeah.
YouTube, your first like 6-7 videos were basically reaction videos, but wow,
Yes.
your numbers were like insanely good. And then I noticed you kind of fell off and you kind of stopped like making some content for a while, but your first several videos were in the thousands and thousands of views. And then of course your IG account, you're sitting at like 36,000 you got 36,000 followers on your IG, and then you have, I think, I can't remember what your other accounts were because I lost the notes. I know, again,
All good. Yeah,
poor.
TikTok is like 8,000. I
Yeah,
think it's
8,000.
not like it's hard to grow on TikTok for me personally. It's hard to grow on TikTok, and I'm not as active on there. Whereas Instagram, I think, is kind of I found my niche. I really like the community there, and I like basically what Instagram is about. So it was just kind of easier for me it kind of motivated me to grow. But yeah, YouTube, no, I used to record tons of reaction videos back in the day. And then, like I said, life got in the way. We had the pandemic there, and I was getting in my head a lot and not wanting to do anything because well, who cares? Who wants to watch? Who cares? Like, who cares if I'm doing a reaction? Doesn't mean anything. And I forgot what it was all about, which was just having fun and enjoying and building a community. So having to start from scratch, I honestly would not have started back on YouTube had it not been for the Pokemon Company International, gifting me a Temporal Forces box back in March.
Oh, wow. Oh, so that's kind of
Yeah.
recent then.
Yeah. So it's very recent. Like, I was just doing Nintendo Direct reactions here and there, and then I just recently got into doing Pokemon TCG, which is hilarious because I've been collecting Pokemon TCG since I was 9 years old. I just never broadcasted it.
Yeah, I'm a bit on the older side from some of the people in the hobby, and I'm usually embarrassed to admit, I just my daughter, I had to coach her soccer team this fall,
Oh,
and
cool.
during the awards show a couple weeks ago, I brought the Halloween packs for all the kids to open up. I brought a whole thing for them, right? And they're all happy and stuff, and then my wife was like, yeah, maybe let them know what you do. I was so embarrassed. The kids were happy.
Oh,
The kids were super
yeah.
happy, but the parents, I felt like they're like, what? It's, you get weird reactions to people like that sometimes,
Oh,
but actually everybody was really fun and cool about it. So
nice.
big shout out to some of my soccer kids that might be watching. I know a couple of them subbed to the channel. I was like, I'm a
That's
family friendly channel,
awesome.
so
Yeah.
it's I haven't gone to that dark side, but it's basically because, like, like life really took over and a lot of things happened, and I've told the story already on this channel. I've told it during the show, but I'm only here because of my kids. They started doing
Mhm.
YouTube, and I wouldn't let them go on YouTube by themselves. So felt like I needed to be with them, and I did it, like I said, strictly because I thought it was kind of weird having your young kids on YouTube by themselves,
Mhm.
and so I was with them in the videos. And now that they're older, they've all gone on to do their own stuff. um Basically I was like, okay, I'm left to do this channel by myself, and that's how I ended up doing this. And then, like you said, things happen, and
Love that
welcome
though. That's
Sleeping
amazing.
Snorlax. Poing is in the house. Cisco over on TikTok says, please tell her I said hi.
Hi. Thanks for
So
tuning in.
yeah, you definitely make some really, really epic content. What's funny was
Thank you.
I literally shut Facebook off years ago because
Mhm.
it's a trap. It's a
Mhm.
trap.
It
And a lot of
is.
Facebook was really for like older people. It's also for like actual friends more, I think. Like, that's kind of how Facebook was viewed by a lot of people. It wasn't really more viewed as like an open source.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was just like, I got to get off this thing. But what I gravitated to Instagram myself because I love photos,
Mhm.
and I would just like post photos and not put anything to them. But now it's just it's elevated itself to where it's essentially, it is a video platform, probably more so than it is anything. And
Yes.
welcome Geeks and Pins, welcome. And that's one thing you've really excelled at, is really making these videos. And that's one thing I really picked
Thank
up
you.
on once I got to meet you through the Pokemon Worlds Discord that we got invited to. Was
Yeah.
I was checking out everybody's accounts to see, like, because I didn't, there's a lot of people I had no idea who they were, and vice
Yes.
versa. So when I checked your stuff out, I was like, wow, man, she makes really good content. I'm real big on quality more than anything. And I was just like, wow, this content is really high end stuff, and it's really good. And
Thank
I was like, it's
you.
on Instagram. And it's like, crap, another person that's making me gonna have to push myself to start doing some more stuff on Instagram instead of just posting the
Oh.
lazy photo.
No, you know what? I love, there's something about a simple photo, especially with, great lighting, specific items. Like, I love that, especially with the vintage gaming community. I love seeing pictures of like flat lays. I love seeing flat lays with, a Game Boy in the middle and then a couple of cartridges on the side or something like that. There's something about that that is just so special. I honestly have such a hard time creating videos, especially now. It's I honestly, most of the stuff that I come up with is spur of the moment. I wish I had a better secret, but there is.
I'm listen, I'm with you. I'm a spontaneous person. So for me, not necessarily. I'm both a planning person and a spontaneous because my OCD doesn't allow me to be spontaneous, yet my ADD allows me. So they're working, and I am a Gemini, so it makes sense that I have two different sides working, right? But
Yeah.
it's I do the same thing. I'll just get inspired to like shoot a video out of nowhere, and
Mhm.
yet I've got a giant hard drive full of videos that I should be editing, and it's
Yes.
just like I just get
Oh,
you get more excited that way.
I totally hear you. So funny you mentioned I have ADHD, and same thing. Like I will come up with an idea and I'll film all these things, or all of a sudden I won't feel motivated, and then out of nowhere, out of the blue, I'm like, I have 20 ideas that I want to go and shoot, film it, cut it, and edit it, and do it all at once. But I have to do it right now, and then once I'm focused, I'm stuck in that zone. So it's yeah, like
It's the
flip flop.
ADHD life. I mean, to
Yeah,
be honest
it
with
is.
you, the best creators really kind of have that to them. The ones who can pump the content out really a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas the ones who are definitely more organized and planned, they take longer. They don't rush things and stuff. So I fight that every day because, like I said, I do a lot of filming. That's my big thing. I try to differentiate myself in the social media world just by putting out, try to put out quality videos that have a story to them or have something go on with them. But man, it gets a little rough sometimes. But when you're making your content, well, for instance, like for anybody that hasn't seen Ally's her collection, she basically has an entire, was it a basement or is it a room you have?
Yes. My
Eh,
spectral sanctum, yes. I have a corner over there that has plushies.
How do you keep like the kids out of there?
You know what? I think because they have their own and they're so used to it, they don't really care. I don't know. It's not they like the older one, she kind of sometimes will play with them, but now that she's older, she's more into like, "Hey, I'm going to go sit on the PS5 and just sit and play for a bit." The play is different. And then my younger one is not as much into plushies as
And
other kids would
wrote
be.
another note from Cisco. He wants to say that he's doing TikTok lives now because of you, of what you said about believing in yourself. He says thank you.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's incredible. I'm so glad to hear. Yeah, honestly, believe in yourself, be yourself, and just enjoy, have fun. Because
Yeah,
we're only on this planet for a little bit of time, and you don't want to
you
waste
got
it.
to take it while you
Yep.
can, for sure. What's up,
Yeah.
escaped alien in the house, my friend? So
Yay.
I know you're from Canada, right? So
Yes.
I have a lot. It's weird. I have a lot of my audience tends to be from Canada, and I don't know why, but it just does.
Oh,
I remember
very
one
cool.
time when I was doing MetaZoo. I grew up. I'm actually from Detroit, so I grew up playing
Oh, okay.
hockey. I grew up in Canada pretty much as a young person, my whole life, playing hockey and stuff. So I remember I was doing a stream for MetaZoo, and I don't know what it was or why I did it, but I just started singing the Canadian national anthem. And I don't know. Ever since then, I seem to have picked up all these Canadian people who tend to gravitate towards the channel or watch the channel.
That's amazing.
Whereabouts can I ask whereabouts from Canada are you from?
For sure. I'm in the province of Ontario.
Okay.
Where I am is pretty well close to Toronto.
Okay. So
Toronto's
you're
not
around the
that far
Toronto
from me.
area.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's a
GTA.
beautiful area there.
It is. I
Are,
actually was born in Toronto and I lived there for 13 years.
okay. Yeah, I played several tournaments in Toronto. The thing I remember the most about Toronto was we went to the Science Museum in Toronto in, I want to say, when I was in middle school. And all I
Science
remember
Center?
was they took us to McDonald's and we all like were having a problem eating the McDonald's because we said it tastes so weird.
Oh, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because the few times that I have been to the States, yeah, so different. Even Fruit Loops. Your Fruit Loops are different than our Fruit Loops. You guys have the cool blue loops. We have the sad muted rainbow colors.
It's funny how how those things work. You think like we're
Yeah.
we're really just really just cross the river and a lake. I
Yeah.
mean, it shouldn't be that big of a difference, but I'll never
No.
forget that. But like I said, I spent a lot of time, probably more so in Montreal than I did in Toronto. But
Okay.
I spent with families where I'd stay with that family of the other team we were playing, and so it was a pretty exciting time. But absolutely love Canada. But I noticed that you basically did you work like in game stores and stuff? Because I kind of saw
I
that as
did.
well.
I did. So when I first got out of high school, I went to college, but I was working at GameStop. So it was EB Games back in the back up during that time.
Oh yeah.
So I was the assistant manager for a little while at the one location we were at, and I was young, like I was like 18, 19. And then later on I ended up becoming like just a part-time associate. I went down because then I went back to school again for special effects. So it was kind of like a way to monetize that, pay for my schooling.
So you went to school for special effects?
I did. I went to school for broadcast journalism, and then I went back for special effects, doing like animatronics, prosthetics,
Oh
that kind of
wow,
stuff.
that is freaking
Yeah.
epic. That is,
Thank
that's not
you.
something you hear from people every day.
Yeah.
Are you still in the field or no?
No, it was too just the timing, and it was just a lot, and a lot of free jobs, and I just, once again, commitment. I was like, I'm not ready for this. I'm not willing to, work so many jobs for free. I need to work now. That's also kind of why I stayed at GameStop, because I was like, I can't afford this, but GameStop is paying me, so I'll stay there and work there for a little bit. So
Y-
I was there for 6 years.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can definitely feel you on that. I've done quite a few I work in the acting world, and I've done quite a few like we call indie projects for either
Yes.
students or small budgeted productions that really can't pay anybody, but you feel like it might be worth your time. So, and
Yeah.
often it's not. So I've
No.
been there, done that.
Yeah.
It can
It's
be tough for
sometimes it's
sure.
just like, especially on your mental health, it's like, you know what, physically and mentally, just I'm not in that right frame of mind. This isn't for me.
Right? Hey, what's up, Pokey Bronx and Brandon Pelletier? What is up, my friends? So,
Hey.
so you were like I said, what made you decide to work at a game store though? Like that's I mean, it's such like a weird thing to say. I'm just gonna go work in a game store. Or have you always been just a hardcore? I
I've
don't know. I don't want
since
to
I
say
was
gamer
3.
because yeah, basically from what I've seen from you, you're really. I mean, the things I've seen in your from your Instagram, your YouTube, things like that, where you show a little bit of your past. I mean, you're definitely more than just like into the gaming. You're into this. I guess I want to call it the nerd world. I mean, because that's kind of like it's all of us people who love this type of stuff. So, but how do you figure like I'm gonna go work at EB Games?
I love I bleed video games. Like I have been a gamer since I was 3 years old, no joke. My older cousin introduced me to video games when I was 3 years old. I was a toddler. It was the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, and Star Fox. Those were my first 2 games ever, and I was hooked. There was just something magical about playing video games, and it hooked me. And I was like, I'm going to devote my life to video games. And then when I was old enough, I went, wait a minute, electronics boutique, EB Games. I can work there one day? Wow. So then as I got older, I said, one day I'm going to work at GameStop. One day I'm going to work at EB Games. And it's funny. It was during the release of Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I went into one of our local electronics boutique, AB Games, and I said, "Hey, are you guys hiring?" And the manager there said, "We aren't, but the store down the way is." And I got a job through that, so I
And
was able to
they were
do
like
the
a dime a
midnight launch
dozen
for
back
that.
then too.
And they were a dime a dozen. They were everywhere,
I
which is
remember.
incredible. And that manager that got me the job is now my best friend. So
Oh, that's
it all
super
worked
cool.
out. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I remember there were like anytime you went to a mall, there'd be an EB Games. We had those here too. Before, in fact, I don't even remember when games started up. I remember EB Games. long before I think I remember a GameStop. Hey,
Yeah.
Pogo Dad, what's going on, my friend? Long time no see.
Hey.
Me and GameStop aren't on good terms at the moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's the thing. It's over the years, especially, it's gone, shall we say, downhill in a
they
lot of ways. I
they
mean,
have.
like, they weren't my favorite company to work for, let's be honest. Like, they had, like any company, they have, you know, interesting practices, especially with their employees and stuff. But that's retail.
Yeah, retail's not the best. Well, right now, I can't even imagine working for GameStop right now because they've now opened up to this whole new world of grading cards.
Yeah,
And
that's huge.
I mean, you go to my GameStop. I have four in my area. I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia area, and just in my little area that I'm at, I'm in the suburbs too, but there's four, and almost never more than one person in that shop. So I can only imagine, as it is, you get in there and you want, like, I'm gonna go in there real quick. I'm just gonna get like maybe a something Pokemon real fast, right? TCG or something. But it never fails to be behind the one person who brings in like a gaming console.
Yeah,
I brought this out just for you actually because I saw that your story before we
I
went
love
live,
it.
and I was like, yeah, you get your game and they got to test it, and then they're like talking and then they're bartering and all stuff. I'm like, man, I just came in here for like a minute. I'm in here for 30 minutes waiting now. Just so when it comes like the grading of cards and the slabs, I'm just like,
I can't
man,
imagine.
definitely I would have to say probably underpaid for the job. I
Yeah.
would
Oh, for
definitely
sure.
lose my cool pretty quick, I'm sure.
And the other thing too is, you know how like they always push the warranties and stuff like that? Because I know a lot of I've heard people saying, "Oh, I hate when they push the warranties and stuff,"
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, yeah.
No, they have to do that because they get written up if they
Yep,
don't. Like
yep,
we used to the same
exactly.
thing. We'd have to hit a quota, and if we did not hit that quota, we would get written up. And if we had 3 write-ups, then you were gone.
And I've tried to tell companies the one thing I hate more than anything is when you're walking somewhere and you're being pushed something. I
Yeah.
understand they're trying to do something, but there's nothing worse to me than pushing me somewhere, forcing me to do
Hmm.
something. Like I walk through Walmart and every single time you walk by the electronics aisle, they got the people trying to sell phones or sell something.
Yeah.
I will literally just veer off now and have to walk halfway down the store to walk back and come back around just because I don't want to deal. Like, I don't want to. That's not why I'm here right now. And I'm not saying that they might have a good deal or it might be a good thing for you or something. It's just, but that's not why I'm there. Don't
Hmm.
if that's something I want to be involved in, I'm sure. Just leave the sign up. And when I walk by,
Hmm.
I'll read the sign. Oh, that's an interesting deal. I wonder who I would speak to about that. And I'll take a screenshot, right? But no, they
Yeah.
got to have that person there that's got to be like,
Yeah.
do you want to buy our extended warranty? We got it for you right now. It's like you walk into GameStop and they like, I'm happy they don't do it anymore though. At least I haven't
Yeah.
been told that. So it
That's
is
good. That's good.
interesting.
Yeah.
Cisco says, ask her what her favorite Minecraft YouTube is. Are you into Minecraft?
Ooh. I haven't played in a long time, actually. I'm trying to think of my favorite Minecraft. That's a good question. I haven't watched, honestly, in years.
Yeah,
In
it's not
years.
something I've
Yeah.
never. I watch my daughter do it, and that's it. She builds her
Yeah.
little worlds and excuse me, and I'm like, yeah, that's good. You're doing a great
Yeah.
job. Now let's make sure you go and get an architect degree now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my daughter has like the Adventure Time pack. So she'll sit there and like she'll build zoos because she
Oh
wants to
yeah.
be a YouTuber.
Uh
So
yeah, mine's I don't know, again, she used to be on the channel with me actually. We called her Rainbow Isabella because
love
she
it.
just had a knack for pulling rainbows every single time during the Sun and Moon era going into Sword
Oh,
and
that's
Shield.
incredible.
I mean, she'd come in here, she'd open 5 packs, guaranteed get at least one rainbow. And rainbows were really hard to get because they were hyper rare. It's a hard card to pull.
Yeah,
Every single time she'd pull the rainbow, so she earned the nickname from the people in the chat of Rainbow Isabella. So, but
that's amazing.
now they just sadly they don't care.
Oh.
So, but my son, my middle son, he's got his own YouTube thing going on now. So he runs his own channel, he runs his own thing, and it's in that video game world and stuff. And he's actually doing way better than I am. His channel is doing really good. So
Good for him.
yeah, he's doing his own thing. And you know, because we did this channel, I taught him how to edit. So he does his own editing. Does all his own work, does his own stuff. So excuse me.
That's awesome. Especially editing, that's a great skill to have. Like, that's one of the things I'm grateful I learned how to do when I was doing broadcast journalism. I wanted to be an editor. And so I'm so glad that was the one thing I took from that course.
Yeah, I mean, I self-taught myself to edit years ago, because like we used to be like a family travel channel. So our big thing was like when we travel places, and I was making, you know, I had the whole I always say that I was kind of doing the Casey Neistat, if you know who that is. I was doing the Casey Neistat style editing before he made it real big and stuff. But, you know, I was doing that kind of like for family videos. So I kind of taught myself on an iPad, on iMovie, how to do all that. And then eventually, you know, started getting a little bit better. Then I upgraded to Final Cut Pro. But yeah, he wants to, you know, that's his whole thing now. Now he wants the Adobe Premiere. And so, you know, I mean, Adobe Premiere is extremely complicated system to work with. Very, you know, it's definitely the highest elevation of editing you can get to. So I think that's pretty cool that he's wanting to do that. But yeah,
that's fantastic. It's like I said, it's a great skill to have.
He got his first paycheck this summer from YouTube, and he was, you know, they think they got like $1 million, you know.
It's like,
and he blinked his eye and it was gone.
Aw, that's awesome.
Cisco, I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know, it's funny, TikTok, I didn't have enough, like you said, what you were talking about earlier about how hard it is to grow on TikTok. I have tried for such a long time to grow. Pokey Charles, oh my gosh, what is going on? I know that name. But it's been it was so hard that I was just getting so frustrated because, you know, again, we're trying to work on several different platforms, right? YouTube, and then Instagram, and then I even tried Twitch for a while. It just, YouTube I always felt was just where I wanted to be at, and Instagram. But then I got this welcoming, like, we want you to stream over in TikTok email, and I was like, okay. So now, like I said, I'm able to stream on TikTok, and I really didn't really have the numbers to do it. But I've just been, whenever I go live on YouTube, I do TikTok at the same time, and, you know.
That's a great idea. Yeah. No, it is very hard. And I think too, like, I know from my personal experience with TikTok, I don't really cater towards TikTok. I take whatever I film for Instagram and plop it onto TikTok and just hope for the best. And some things do well, but for the most part, it's almost like it senses like you made this with another area in mind. We're not going to push it.
No, I have a feeling they do.
It's almost like they don't. And it's weird because, like, I don't even edit in Instagram. I have my own editing program, so I don't know why, but yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it.
Hey, yo, Pokey Charles, thank you so much, man. I miss you guys so much. I know we've kind of, you guys are doing your thing now, and I'm doing my thing, and Pokey Charles and I, we go way back. In fact, when I first started doing YouTube, it was my kids and his kids. He runs a shop in Florida. Yeah, it was our kids. We would have pack battles and stuff on YouTube, and that's what we used to do back in the day. And then, but he runs his own shop out of Florida and stuff. But yeah, I'm trying to. I left the Pokemon world, like I said. I told you I went to MetaZoo, and even though I had probably the two most fun years and growth as a content creator in MetaZoo, unfortunately it just ended really, really terrible. So
yeah, and like suddenly too.
And the funny thing is, my wife is such a huge Hello Kitty, like, so my studio, you got to see it before we went live. You got to see a little bit of my studio, right?
Yes.
My studio's in my bedroom. So yeah, now think about how much room you saw. And so we got a pretty decent sized bedroom. Her collection is about 5 times the size of mine. So just think of that.
Really?
Oh,
that's so impressive.
It is huge. Huge. We do amazing. Like, we go like on these runs, especially during the Halloween time, the Christmas and Easter times. We will drive all around Atlanta, hunting down these freaking exclusive Hello Kitty like plushies and all this stuff for her,
Oh,
and we go and do all that, and but her collection's way bigger than mine, and it's pretty crazy.
that's
We got a new storefront,
amazing.
much bigger outdoor signage that works. Oh, so you're not in the old mall anymore. Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear, Adam. But yeah, but doing the MetaZoo thing, like you said, one of the things that the former owner, the former creator MetaZoo, when we had talked about a couple years ago, was he had asked us what our thoughts were about Hello Kitty and Sanrio. And at the time, we didn't think anything of it.
Mhm.
Uh, a cryptid TCG, Sanrio Hello Kitty, strange combination, but my wife was like, "Oh yeah, that would be great." Little did we know that he was going to go through with it, and it would
Oh.
essentially be the downfall of MetaZoo. I think. Um, they had a lot of other issues though, a lot of other issues. But anyways,
Mhm.
thought it was kind of interesting though. But I kind of feel like we had a little play in that. How they partnered with Sanrio.
Love it.
I
I
don't
love that.
know.
That's a
I
great
don't know.
story.
You never
That's
know.
great though.
Yeah, but it's funny because like I said, it all roads led back to coming back to Pokemon, and then like
Yeah.
I said, just an amazing email to receive, that I've been accepted to come and go to Pokemon Worlds and stuff.
Oh,
So
I know.
I'm so sad. I know. I was like, how much do I talk about here with you? Because I know that it sucks that you couldn't come out, man. That really sucks for sure.
I
You
know.
didn't
I
miss
was really
anything.
looking
It
forward
was
to it.
nothing.
I
It
know, I
was
know, I
nothing.
know. I only saw
It
the
was
the
nothing.
Discord. It was so nice to be able to. Honestly, I was so grateful just to that they didn't. I was like, they're gonna. As soon as I told them, because I had to let them know right away. Like, because when I first applied for it, I had every intention, like, oh, I'm gonna go, and then things just fell apart, and I wasn't able to go last minute. And I had sending that email being like, I'm sorry, guys, I can't make it anymore. Please feel free to give my ticket away and stuff like that, and or give my spot away. I was like, they're gonna kick me out of the Discord any second now, and whatever it is, what it is. And no, they didn't. They just kind of left me there, and I was like, okay, I'll just see what everyone's doing and comment and like everybody's things. And oh wow, that's great. Look at the things you found. Look at the things you ate. This is amazing. Like it was so nice just to be a part of it
Oh,
in
I didn't
that
live
way,
that
even
life.
something so small like that. It was really nice. So I'm glad I was just able to be. I felt like I was there, like a little ghost floating around in the background. It was
You're the
really
little
nice.
haunter, a haunter that was
Little
hanging
haunted.
around everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah, I had a
exactly. That
weird.
was me.
My experience was definitely not like a lot of other people's, but
No?
it just all depends. Well, one, honestly, even though I had time to prep, I didn't really have the money to go. It was kind of
Fair.
I just had a
Yeah.
lot of things have happened this year. A lot of our money got tied up. I really didn't have the money to go, so I was trying to like fire sale a bunch of my collection, which I did. I was able to go. Another thing is, I'm a former airline employee, so I worked for an airline
Oh,
for 20 years, actually more than that, but yeah, I worked for a long
wow.
time. My wife currently still works for an airline, so that's how I was able to travel out there. Was it didn't cost me a dime, so I was able to get there
Nice.
for free, and the only thing I had to worry about was staying somewhere and food, and then the hotels. So when originally we were booking in the hotel, it was a decent price. I mean, still expensive, but it is Hawaii, okay? And we were going to be
Mhm.
there
Mhm.
because we had to show up at a certain date, in order to really to experience the full content creator thing with Pokemon Company, right? So we were going to be there for 7 to 8 days. So the hotel
Mhm.
cost that we originally tried to book was like around $2,000, which is like I said,
Mhm.
it's 7 days, $2,000, pretty expensive for a single person, right?
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I thought about asking someone in our Discord if anybody was willing to do it, but I was like, I won't. I'm not gonna ask it. I didn't feel right about doing it. But then there was some issue, and I had lost the hotel room. Now when I tried to get it back, like $5,000 for
Oh,
7 days. Yes,
no.
absolutely insane. So now I'm like I'm stressing out. It's I think it was like 2 weeks, maybe not even, maybe a week before we were supposed to leave. Another thing I was stressing out, I was having these specially made cards to bring with me, that I had designed that I wanted to have made into a card, like a Pokemon card. And I was having a lot of issues with the person who was making them for me. We were having
Mm.
just a lot of communication issues and things. And I was just totally stressing out. Now it's a week before and I have no place to stay. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm not backing out. I don't care. I'll sleep on the street. I'll go. Then I had some friends that I made from the MetaZoo world who live there. They're Hawaiians. And they're like, yeah, you can stay with
Oh,
us. So I ended up staying with them, which also they were only a couple blocks away from the convention center. So it really worked out well for me that I got to go there. And so I didn't have to worry about hotel costs. I didn't have to worry. I just had to basically worry about eating. And I pretty much lived out of a 7-Eleven for the entire time. In fact, I think I only ate out one time. And that was a dinner that I had with Lee. We had dinner one
mm.
time. That's it. I literally ate out of a 7-Eleven the whole entire time we're there. I lost 15
Oh,
pounds because I walked everywhere.
oh,
You sweated to
yeah,
death. And
yeah,
everybody else, like you said, everybody else like was living the life. They were all going out to dinner, and I mean,
yeah,
I wanted to go out to dinner with people at times, but the
yeah,
communication kind of fell off once we were all in Hawaii, and everyone kind of went
right.
like their little way, like separate ways to a degree.
Hmm.
And so, it would have been fun to probably go out a couple times, but I was also like, my mind was about making a great video. I was like, I'm
Mm.
here for one reason. I'm here to be a good ambassador while I'm here and make an absolute banger video. And so I literally would spend my entire time, just like Pokey Legends, another fellow Canadian. It
Yes, yeah. She's
got
awesome.
she's so cool. I got to meet her
Love
and
her.
hang with her while we were in
Nice.
Hawaii, and I got to watch her work ethic too. And people like
Mm.
you see, like she makes um a lot of content with photos, basically just mostly photo image. She really doesn't really do video,
Hmm.
and it's so crazy to see how much effort and work she was putting in just to make like photos. Like she
Hmm.
was constantly running around everywhere,
Yeah.
outfits and changing and bringing all the stuff with her. And I was like,
And
wow,
she always gets the perfect poses. Like, I don't know how she does it.
she carries a huge giant light with her. She don't like not one of
No,
these little key lights I have.
really?
She has a
Yeah.
huge ass ring light.
I
And
wondered how she did it because I'm like, her lighting everywhere is perfect. Like, she looks
yes,
immaculate
you
in
were
every
like, you
single
just feel like,
photo.
I mean, I thought I was bad because like everyone would make fun of me. I'm walking around with, I have a huge backpack on. I have my tripod. I have a single pod. I carry, because I have all my equipment is like major equipment stuff. And I
Right.
got a drone, and I'm lugging around all the stuff, and all the big content creators are rocking out the little DJI Osmo 3. It's the little handheld thing with the little LCD, and it's they're all walking around
Oh,
with that, and
I
and
should
they
show you what I use. Oh
eh,
my goodness
yeah, and I was just like,
gracious.
but she was literally walking around with a huge ass ring light
No
and a
way.
stand and all her stuff and her plushies and her cards because
Oh,
she does a whole setup wherever she goes.
yes. Yes.
And
She has a
uh,
beautiful her card collection is incredible.
oh, she's mega collector.
Yeah.
I actually booked her to come on the show. She was actually supposed to be my first
Oh.
guest,
Oh,
but
okay.
she went to New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
She was very stressed out. She's
Oh.
yeah. We ended up we were in fact we talked yesterday, and she's not gonna probably come on the show now. I told her, don't worry. She's been very stressed out about a lot of things and stuff. So she's not real big also on video going live. So I was like, don't worry
Mhm.
about it. It's cool with me. I said, if you ever change your mind, let me know. But yeah, a very, very good content creator though. Like I said, it's for someone who
Mhm.
literally does most of her stuff is just photos and stuff. But you
Mhm.
said it come out so crisp and clean, and
Yes.
they're very interesting photos. They're not
Yeah.
like all that just pass it on. Like they're always like cool to look, and
Yeah.
she always has
Yeah.
a great collection.
Yeah, she does. She has like and she even like her nails, she always has her nails always match her photos, which is incredible.
It's part of her whole planning process of
Yeah,
all the
it's
stuff she
so
does.
cool.
Well, I don't want to say too much about her because, like I said, she's got a really great, interesting story. I would love to be able to talk to her sometime about. I mean, I've
Yeah.
talked to her, but on the show at some point, we'll see what happens. But for you, so how do you incorporate this world that you've created, this gaming world of all the videos that you post, between not just this giant, enormous plushie collection you have and all your gaming collection and stuff? Like I said, if you guys haven't checked out Allie, which I'm sure many of you probably have, but if you haven't, she just posted a fun story I thought was really cool. Like I said, I went and I grabbed this really quickly, and I was like, I gotta show her the old classic, the
I
original
love that.
Xbox, because
Love
she did a big, nice little throwback to the only game that I played in Xbox.
Really?
That was the only game I ever played, Halo.
Really?
Yeah. And we have the big Halo mask. I even dressed as, I think, my brother-in-law, he actually dressed as Halo 1 year for Halloween. I think I stole I stole his mask.
Oh, Master Chief?
Yeah, Master Chief.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
My wife just said we have the mask sitting up by her Hello Kitty collection right now.
Oh, I love that. I have mine. Where is mine? Mine is, I think, behind me. Yeah, he's like.
Let's see. Let's go to.
Oh, it's mirrored. He's like right there.
You just got the
me.
goat scream. What did I do with camera 3? Oh, I forgot. I didn't put camera 3 up yet. Whoops, my bad.
Oh, that's okay. I have, yeah. All
there
good.
It is. There we go. We got you on the big cam now. Look at that. Look at the, wow. You're close to rivaling that one guy. I forget his name. Hey, what's up, son of Merc? What's going on, my friend? Welcome, welcome. You know there's that one Nintendo guy with the craziest room ever. His videos are like super huge. I forget what his name is now on Instagram, but he literally has like his TV is like a control a Switch controller.
Oh, Javi?
Yes, Javi.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy,
yeah.
Oh my god. You're like,
oh, he has his beautiful.
You're not too far from that. Looking
thank you.
at your
I
room
wish.
in the back there.
Thank you. I try. I have like some of my old vintage Pokemon here. I have my Final Fantasy 7 collection up there.
That is insane.
Yeah, it's just a mix of things.
Brazel Bob Pants, welcome TikTok baby.
Hey.
Gee, what is your favorite Pokemon?
Pikachu? No, it's Gengar. Well, so I actually have two. Gengar definitely, and Snorlax. They're like my.
Yes. Okay. So
Yeah,
Snorlax is my let's see. I don't think I have it. I didn't know. I turned it off. Let me see. I turned this camera off. I have got like 5 cameras set up, but I always forget which ones I have.
That's
awesome. Let's see here. Where do I go? Let's go my top-down camera. Oh, still coming on. See, those GoPros, the old GoPros are still good for something. Oh, but you know what? You can't see it because, whoops, I forgot.
Yeah,
you're not on the top cam. I couldn't show you. My bad. But anyways, I'm such a terrible producer of the show.
Oh my goodness, not at all. This is so much fun.
But yeah, Snorlax is my second favorite Pokemon of all time. Sometimes he's my favorite. Just depends.
Yeah.
Charizard's my favorite, but I can see in yours, like I said, when we look at your room there, your giant, enormous collection of Gengar in the background.
Oh, and these are just I keep thinking I'm reversed. Those are just the 2 big ones.
Yeah.
That's not even the collection. Like the collection's like down over there.
See, that's why you need multi cameras, so that way you can switch it, or you can show all your different views. Like, that was one thing I thought about, was like, how do you I have all this great epic stuff in the background that's fun to show off, but no one ever sees it. So I'm like,
I love it.
Well, let's get these different views of stuff. So
yeah.
But
I love that Snorlax with the hat too, the Santa hat. He's all ready for Christmas.
Oh, he's ready. He is. Whoops, let me get you bring you back here. There we go. Yeah, we had to get that's my biggest one that I have. I just don't have room to put ginormous plushies in here. We were at Target like a week ago, and I think I actually posted a couple of videos on IG from Target, and they had just gotten in the new well, not new, they've been around for a minute, but they're the Gengar Squishmallow. But they have the huge one.
Yeah.
The really big one, it's like $50.
The 20-inch one? We don't have those in Canada.
It seemed like it was bigger than 20 inches, man. This thing was freaking like, I mean, it was huge.
Oh, wow.
At least, yeah, it looked like probably closer to 36 inch to 42 inches in size. I mean, it was just ginormous. And I was like, where in the heck could I put this thing? I have no room back here. So, it, yeah, I don't have like giant room like that. But for they're pretty expensive, these plushies. They can.
That's the thing. They're very expensive, and like it's I've been fortunate in the recent past couple of years that I've been gifted a lot of my plushies, like even just through sponsorships, like collabs, or even just generous people. I've been very fortunate in that sense. But it does get to a point where it's like, okay, I don't have any more room. Like Squishmallows, we're supposed to be getting Evie and Chansey coming
Yep.
out soon, and I know I'm gonna have to get them, but it's like just for even filming purposes too, right? It's like, oh no,
I
I need
might
them
have
to
to. Hey,
film this.
Pokemon TCG, what's going on, man? Welcome. I may have
Hey.
to get the Chansey just to pair it, so that Snorlax has a girl. I don't know.
Oh, I love that. See, when I was younger, I always like I don't know, Chansey and Clefairy just always seemed like they were like besties. So knowing that the Chansey's coming, I'm like, I have to get the Chansey for the Clefairy. Like they just work. They just
Yeah,
work
they
together.
kind of like go together, right?
They go together.
Jamie, welcome, Jamie. Do you agree with the following
Hey.
sentiment? In a world full of has be a he. You know what? I think you could.
Yeah.
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 He is definitely more on the Gengar side rather than
It's cute. Yeah, exactly.
He's got
I
that
love it.
sneaky devilish thing to him there. Oh man.
Yeah, it's so
So
endearing.
what is your card collection looking like? Like how I know like I said, I know you've got a lot of, like I said, games and plushies, but this is a TCG show technically.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an all-encompassing of Pokemon and other TCGs actually is what the show is really kind of the basis is. But what is
Yeah.
your collection really all about? That's what I want to hear. So I
Yeah.
know you said you just kind of gotten back into cards.
So I've been consistently purchasing the cards since they first came out. The only time I didn't was during the Diamond and Pearl era and the Black and White era because I was in high school and I just
Wait,
didn't have
you
the
were in
funds
high
to do
school
it.
then?
Yeah.
Oh my, was that like 2010 to 2012? I think was
Uh
or
before then,
maybe
so like
2008.
2008. Oh no, not 2008.
I
It would
can't
have been
remember
before
when Heart
that.
Gold, yeah, Silver was out.
Art Gold and Soul Silver was 2009,
Okay.
I
So yeah,
believe.
about 2009, 2010, around that
Yeah,
era.
and then I think Diamond and Pearl was 2006. So I was in high school for that.
Okay.
So
I
during
was
that time
moving
I
from New
wasn't.
York.
Oh, were you?
I moved in 2005. Yeah. October 3rd, 2005 is when we moved from New York City to Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
It's been a while now. Dude, it's
Yeah.
crazy, crazy.
It's amazing how the time flies too. Like you're just like, wait a
Yes.
minute.
I know, right?
Love it. Yeah, no, I stopped collecting that time, but I've been consistently purchasing like a booster here and there, and it wasn't until maybe when X and Y came out that I started actively buying ETBs and booster packs and trying to collect my chase cards for each set. My collection right now is basically I have my childhood vintage collection, which I will try to fill holes in here and there as much as I can, but some of them are a little bit more expensive. Charizard. And then I have newer cards. So whenever a new set comes out, I'll unbox and stuff like that and then try to collect it. But I'm not trying to not trying to complete anything. I can't. I wouldn't be able to afford to collect the whole thing or master anything. The only set I'm trying to like master right now is 151. But that's cuz Gen 1, Gen 2,
Yeah.
but Gen 1 are
So
like
were
my.
you a Gen 1, were you an original Gen 1 collector or did you really
Yeah.
just kind of start Heart Gold? Okay.
No, I started with my first game was Pokemon Blue.
So you're
So
an
I got
original
it the year it came out.
WotC era, Wizards of the Coast
Yeah,
era
I
collector. Okay.
am. My first
Nice.
ever Pokemon was Squirtle. So Squirtle's another one of my favorite Pokemon because it was like my first ever starter, my first ever Pokemon. So I was there 300 years ago. Or 3,000 years. 300 years? 3,000 years
See,
ago,
it's
2,000 years
so
ago.
weird for me because, like I said, I'm um, I said it's in this world, this hobby that we're in. You kind of like it's so weird when it comes like the age. So you
Yeah.
either have like really older people, or you kind of have like not really young people necessarily, more mid grade. But now we're kind
Hmm.
of getting a new crop of younger people in, and I think it's really because of more of the money side of the hobby
Hmm.
than anything, I would say.
Yeah.
Because like when Pokemon came out for me, you know, kind of give my age away a little bit here, but I mean I think I was um crap, I was 23 when Pokemon came out.
Love
So
it.
yeah, I was 23 when Pokemon came out. So I wasn't like a young kid going, oh, I got my first cards when I was like 10 and we traded. No, I was 23 years old. And like I said, it's so weird for me because like I said, I was a big card collector. I was a hockey and baseball card collector.
Oh,
So
okay.
when I collected almost anything that were cards really, and
Hmm.
Garbage Pail Kids and Star
Oh, okay.
Wars, like old stuff. So
Star
when
Wars, yeah.
Pokemon stuff came out, yeah, I started right away like collect. I still have my original Pokemon binder. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
that's
that's
awesome.
the this is originally the first one I bought, which I believe I got this from either Kmart. Look, I even my said I used even back then I was pretty OCD'd about things.
Oh,
Like
I love
I
that. That's what
printed up
I
my
used to
own
do.
checklist. I printed up my own. That's printed up on the
That's
computer back
incredible.
then, and yeah. So look, my old tops
The
still in
Tops
here.
cards.
Yeah,
Okay,
tops are still in here.
can I just say the
Um,
Tops cards deserve way more love, especially now. Like they did not. They always got the hate. It was kind of that we have Pokemon at home, Pokemon cards at home type of thing back then. Like I remember saying to my mom, "Can you go get can I have some Pokemon cards, please?" And she's like, "Sure." And she'd come home, it's like, "Here they are." It's like, "No, these are the Tops ones."
and see, for me, I thought it was really weird to see the Wizards of the Coast cards, but when the
Yeah.
tops ones came out, I got like super excited because now I know
Yeah.
tops. Tops is
Yeah.
famous for
Tops
sports and
is
stuff.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was all excited. And they were also full arts. So the whole card was an art.
Mm.
And there was more color and vibrancy to them. And it just, I really was
Yeah.
very much attracted to the art of the cards. And I'm like, well, you get the little tiny box on those weird Wizards of the Coast ones, but
Yeah.
then you got these beautiful full color ones. So I kind of had stopped collecting the base set and stuff at first and kind of just started collecting the tops at that point. And so I was just,
Oh,
going tops
nice.
crazy trying to get the whole set and stuff. And then I don't know, life happened and
Yeah.
I just started traveling, like using my flight benefits more. And, it kills me to think about all the times I was in Japan going back to like 2000, my very first time I went to Japan,
Oh,
how I
yeah.
never touched anything card related. Like all the cards I passed up, I used to see them all the time. I remember, I think I've had a video if I remember going back then and just never like, oh, just imagine if I would have had like, Team Rocket and all the original Japanese back then. And
Good sets. Yeah.
no, just, I saw it all and I kind of wanted it, but your collecting habits, I can't remember what I was collecting at the time. I was like collecting die-cast model airplanes or something, I think at the time. 'Cause I was really into
Oh,
the air.
cool.
Yeah, being in the airline business, I just got, I became a plane spotter. Like, so I would, everywhere we'd go, I actually went on several photo shoots in Europe. I went to like Austria, the airport in Austria in
Oh.
Vienna took me out in a special car, and I was taking photos of planes landing and taking off, and I was doing a lot of fun stuff like that because that's just what I got into. It's just, because after
Yeah.
I was actually an athlete, and after my athlete life ended, I didn't know what else I was gonna do with my life. So I was like, I'm working for I work for an airline now. I get to fly all over the place, and I'm having so much fun. And so I started falling in love with paint jobs on airplanes. That's how it got started.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, it had nothing to do with like just the normal like way an airplane's paint scheme was. I was
Mm-hmm.
looking for all these really colored up special designs, maybe celebrating an event going on. And the funny thing was, I was working at JFK Airport in New York City when the ANA airplane, which is this one right here, this exact one,
Oh.
which I was given to as a gift, but this plane is the one that I actually worked this plane when it came in.
No way.
Yeah, we were
That's amazing.
Yeah, my company was contracted to work their flight. And so this was actually the very first time I'd ever seen anything Pokemon was on this plane.
No way. Yeah. That is so cool.
So
that is history right there.
Yeah, and then that's when I remember just like suddenly after that, I don't know if it was just because my eyes opened up or what, but I just started seeing Pokemon wherever I went. I mean, you went to like well, we didn't have CVS's. I can't remember what it was called. Maybe Dwayne Reed's back then. I don't remember, but it was like a CVS, Walgreens type of store. We had those everywhere. You'd go in there and you'd see tons of Pokemon all the time. Going to Toys R Us, it was Pokemon everywhere. I remember the video games and
the figures.
That's all I can remember from that time. But it definitely entrapped me a little bit and kept me there for a minute. But
yeah,
big change there, big change. But for you, from when you were a little kid, to when you got back in, how was your time frame? Your big gap there. How did you feel that in? What was going on?
So I never really left Pokemon. I was always kind of in there. The cards I did get out of, but I consistently have been with the games. I never left the games. I always stayed with them. So during that time when I was in high school, I was actually, we were talking about this earlier, the GameCube came out, and I remember honestly staying home all the time. I never really went out with friends much, and I would just play my GameCube, and I played like Pokemon Coliseum, Harvest Moon was another one, like A Wonderful Life and another Wonderful Life series, F-Zero, Smash Bros, all those games for GameCube I played. And then, having Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald come out for Game Boy Advance. So I consistently kept into it with the games. And then when I was old enough and had my first credit card, I found out Black and White was coming out, but they were coming out in Japan first. It was before games were coming out the same time everywhere, regional. It was like, it's in Japan first, and then it'll be out in North America and UK like a year and a half later kind of thing. And I remember ordering a copy of Pokemon Black and playing that, a Japanese copy, and playing that. So I never really left.
Yeah, I noticed because you have a lot of retro gaming stuff. So, and it still works.
It all still works. I was an only child. So I was very, same thing again, because, maybe it's the ADHD, I don't know, very meticulous with all my stuff, making sure everything was, kept in its mint as much as I could, but still enjoying it and still playing with it, while still making sure everything is fine. Like, it's funny too, if you look at my Game Boy games, the stickers, like, you can barely tell they were inserted in and out of the game, the Game Boy.
Oh my God.
So often, yeah.
Yeah,
so
like
very
the
careful.
old glue hasn't even worn off yet.
It hasn't even worn off yet.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I kind of, like I said, same thing, because as a collector, you kind of look at everything a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so you kind of take care of your stuff a little bit more, especially. I mean, I always hate to bring value stuff. That's not something my channel really discusses too often, is the value of things. Because I think personally, like, a lot of the value of things really comes more from, you're enjoying it. That's what you're getting it for.
That's huge, yeah.
But the reality is, there is another side to these things where there is a value to them. So you're like, okay, I do want to, keep it nice just in case one day I decide I want to say goodbye to it, right? I can get some money for it. It sticks in the back of the head a little bit.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
So, but again, when it comes to your card collection, and now that you're kind of back into it again, because like I said, you just dropped the video today. I couldn't comment. I was in your stream, or your
gosh, all good.
I was in your thing because I was busy trying to set this thing up. I was like, because this was a huge mess back here. Because I was up to like 3 a.m. I'm cooking a roast because I was like, it's that time of year. I like to I only
Yeah.
cook like one time a year, and it's usually
It's
between
this year.
like October through Christmas. I get like I start like wanting to cook like meats, like I don't know,
Yeah.
weird thing I
It's
guess.
just
But anyways, I'll
hearty
cook.
goodness. It's that instinct to hibernate, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
basically, I guess it is. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like doing that. I'm trying to get the studio done for tonight so I could have it all finished, which it's not quite there, but close.
It looks great. I love it. It looks fantastic, especially with the lights and everything too.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's got more to go. It's got more to go. Halloween is easy because I have so much
Yeah.
Halloween stuff. 'Cause I'm a huge Halloween nut. Um, if
Nice.
you ever seen it, I posted some photos and videos on my Instagram, but I really like
Yes.
I go all out for Halloween. I like love decorating for that stuff. And for Christmas, I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta figure things out because I don't have as much stuff as I did for Halloween. But yeah, so I was up till super late trying to get it done, and then I woke up this morning again trying to get things done so I could get this ready to go. And I was like, I had your stream on. You definitely, you probably pissed a lot of people off tonight, whoever watches your
Why?
video, because like nobody has had good luck with this freaking new set, Surging Sparks.
Really?
It has been
Really?
a very, very, very rough set to open, and
Oh.
you guys got to check out Ally's video. She dropped it today, opening a Surging Sparks. Yeah, you got really lucky.
I was you know what? I was so surprised. The reason why, so I put in the title like my best ETB ever question mark, because it was. I have notoriously the worst luck with ETBs. I just have horrible luck, and I get the Pokemon Center exclusive ones too, so I get that extra booster.
Hmm.
Horrible luck. And for whatever reason, this one I just kept pulling hit after hit after hit, and sometimes I don't even get like an EX. It's just like, oh, here's a, an uncommon. You get a
It
bonus
works out like
rare.
that.
Woot. Yeah. So it's like, it was just, I was shocked. I was surprised. And yeah, I don't know. I thought maybe the pull rates were up, but I guess not. I guess not.
No,
If you're saying everybody's having horrible luck
you,
with it.
yeah, you definitely had a very, very, very nice ETB for sure. I've opened two up, and I mean, honestly, I don't know. It all depends on expectations, right? Because
Yeah.
technically, you're supposed to. The old school used to be one hit per about every 3 packs to 4 packs you open. So
Hmm.
that's the ratio. 1 out of 3, sometimes usually 1 out of 4.
Yeah.
So my first one kind of hit that ratio. My second one, I haven't posted the video yet. I don't know. I can't remember exactly because I was just not happy about it. But I've opened some other stuff up off camera, which I normally don't open off camera. But I decided to open some stuff off camera because I was just like, I want to open. I haven't been opening as much as I used to. But yeah, the hits were definitely not good. And I've watched a bunch of our friends that are, fellow content creators and people who are posting, and just everyone's just like, this hurts so bad. Hurts
Oh.
so bad.
I watched Real Breaking Nate's video, and the one that he did, and he had same thing. He had a really good pull. So I had filmed my video before I saw his, and then I saw his, and I went, "Oh, you know what? It's got to be the pull rates. Then they must be so much better." So maybe I didn't have a fluke box, but hearing that from you, I guess I did.
Yeah, I think you kind of had a little bit of a fluke box there. That was such a
Yeah.
crazy box you got.
I
Yeah.
was so shocked. I mean, it was no Pikachu or anything like that, but still, like, it was, a
Yeah,
couple
you
after
didn't even get the
another.
Pikachu. You still that
I
tells
didn't
you
get
how
the
good your
Pikachu.
box was. Even without getting the Pikachu, yours was that good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was so surprised.
the Pikachu. So apparently the Pikachu, the word on the street is, it's one SIR, so secret illustration rare,
Yeah.
per case, and there's 6 boxes in a case. That's
Oh.
200 and something packs, 208 packs or whatever it is in a case. So it's pretty hard just to get an SIR overall. And
Yeah.
then, like I said, I think there's like 7 SIRs, maybe something like that in Surging Sparks. I can't remember offhand, but it just tells you how difficult it is to get one. It's going to be pretty hard. So, and like I tell a lot of people, this particular set, I really do think is going to be short printed, mainly because, anybody who has worked in the business world, kind of understands how things work. Corporations don't go just randomly, I'm going to print 1,000,000 of something. They
Hmm.
use data, and they use past data. That's how they control and figure out, and their cost runs by
Hmm.
what past data has shown. And unfortunately, Scarlet and Violet has been a bit of a rough journey so far in terms of really producing a really great sound vibrant set. I kind of wonder sometimes also, could it be expectations? Maybe our
Yeah.
expectations have just gotten too high, you know?
I could, oh, 100%. I could totally see that for sure. And I feel like this generation in general, like seeing how people have been taking to the games and everything like that, I feel like Gen 9 is just, it's hit or miss with some people because even the game, there's a lot of people.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're back. Okay, I got that. Yeah, I don't know what happened. She just got disconnected. I'm waiting for her to reconnect back. Um, Hopefully she'll reconnect. She just got to click the link again and come back in. Again, I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not too sure what happened. Allie, if you're listening, just reconnect back. We should get you. Hopefully she comes back. Hopefully she comes back. Hopefully. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, absolutely, Mike. There she is. She's back. All right.
Weird. I was talking, and then all of a sudden, you went mute, like, and then you were speaking, and I could see you
See,
speak,
I have a feeling. Okay,
and
so
I was like, "Wait a minute, I'm hello. Are you? Can you not hear me?" And then I'm like, "Oh no, I can't hear you." And then you're like, "Oh, she's gone," and I'm like, "No, I'm still here."
yeah, you know, I'm not really sure. So I had a problem with my stream with Ian and Ian, episode 2.
Oh,
The
okay.
stream was just ending on us after a certain time frame, and so we had to restart the
Oh.
stream 3 times.
Oh no.
And I'm not sure what happened, but I contacted Streamlabs, and I have a feeling it has to do with my keyboard. Whenever I do something on the keyboard, it tends to make a change in Streamlabs. That's why I've lost you a couple times. I was replying
Oh.
to Mike in the chat,
Yeah.
and or Pokemon TCG, and I don't know. I'm wondering if whatever button I hit, it may have murked you.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's
I
all
really
good.
don't know. That's the first time that has ever
All
happened.
good.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like when I go to full screen, you're now like, where did I go? I've
And
you're
see, I can still see you.
Can you
Yeah. It's like nothing happened.
see? I see double U on my full screen now.
Oh, that's so strange. No, I have me here and then you
Oh,
here.
yeah. I have no idea what in the world just happened there, but okay, there we go.
Technology,
Oh,
eh?
I see. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I forgot I copy and pasted you over, so that's why it did that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, again, the fun of being the producer while also being the host, guys. Um, but man. But yeah, so
Oh,
your collection though overall is, since you've gotten into Scarlet and Violet, as I was saying, it's basically like they go off these old sales data, and when they see sales aren't that good, which Scarlet and Violet
mhm.
unfortunately hasn't really sold very well. I had a
No.
feeling it was going to probably impact Surging Sparks, and probably be a short print set. But we were saying before was the expectations of the set, the expectations of
Yeah.
us. Do you think our
Yes.
expectations have just gotten out of hand where we think everything's supposed to be a 10, but in reality, most things are probably like a 6 or a 7?
I think so. And I feel like, I think social media has a big part of that too, as well, where we see certain things and we have certain expectations. We're exposed to more stuff. So we have easier access to things, right? So people that, for example, like showing off like a Charizard, right? Say, oh, you too can have this, right? And that kind of stuff. But when it comes to Scarlet and Violet, I feel like in general, Gen 9 has had issues overall, even with the games. Like, the games had so many technical issues when it first came out that it actually affected a lot of people wanting to play it and wanting to continue. I personally love it. I love Violet. I had a great time, but it was buggy, especially when it first came out. And I mean, we all saw the glitches and stuff like that. And for some people, they were like, "That's it for me. I'm done with
Oh,
Gen 9."
wow.
Right? So, and there were a lot of people that were saying that. So, whereas I was like, no, I'm going to continue. It's still, I love it. It's still Pokemon. But I think Gen 9 itself, that with the game, and like you said, with Scarlet and Violet cards as well, I feel like everyone's kind of disappointed. A lot of people are disappointed with Gen 9 in general. Um, but that'll all change once we get Gen 10,
I know,
which will be
right?
soon.
I mean,
Yeah.
every gen we get new Pokemon. What did you think of the new
Yeah.
Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet?
Honestly, I haven't had like a large group of favorites since Gen 6. So I have a lot of favorites in this gen. I really like them. Especially
Oh,
like the
wow.
Tinkaton line. I love the Tinkaton line.
Okay.
And like Cerulege and Charcadet and stuff like that. Love them. And Armarouge. Um yeah, like there's so many great new Pokemon. We're not going to be getting like the usual here's another 100, here's another 100, because we're now at that point where we're like, okay, the game cannot support that many new Pokemon.
That's where I
But that's okay.
that's where I feel like it's getting rough now, is that
Mhm.
they've tapped into so many like of what you can do with the artwork and you can in
Mhm.
the and the creatures you can create, that it's almost like now some of the stuff is just so out of this world alienish, and I
Yeah.
kind of feel like that really happened big time in this one, you
Yeah.
know. I
Pokemon 1000 is a cheese string man, so a golden cheese string man. That's also a ghost. So
Right? I mean, it's just like it was like when they had Eternatus, and I was just like, what the heck is this
yeah.
thing? You know?
Mhm.
It's like did they ran out of like they've run out of things they can create now or something? Like just creating this weird like bony looking, yeah.
And it's so weird on a card. Pretty well, almost every card I've seen of
Yep.
it is like, where's its head? Where's its leg? Where's its like, you know what I mean? Like it's such a weird shape. It kind of works, I guess, for what it was, especially in the game. But yeah, it's it's got to be hard coming up with designs and having something that's not a repeat.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, there's great examples of kind of like sort of repeating some of the Pokemon. You know,
Hmm.
Blastoise is a great one. And then
Hmm.
from Blastoise you can go to Feraligatr, and then
Hmm.
Feraligatr, like you can just kind of see the like
Swampert.
there's just minor changes, but it's pretty much almost to some degree almost like the same Pokemon over and over with a
Hmm.
small minor change and then a name change to it. You know, Turninator. It's just like how many can we how can we differentiate these Pokemon to keep people so interested? I just feel like
Hmm.
Scarlet and Violet was definitely I've had a much harder time attaching myself to some of the Pokemon in this particular expansion compared
Hmm.
to previous expansions. But I think it happens every expansion.
Hmm.
People have a very difficult time accepting new. I think
Yes.
that's, you know, like you said,
Yeah.
a lot of people, especially in the TCG world, you have your group of people who will never collect modern,
Hmm.
and they'll talk crap about modern all day, every day. They'll like the only thing that matters to them is Wizards of the Coast era. They're living in the past. And then you have a
Yeah.
group of people who don't give a care because, for whatever reasons they never got to really experience it. So, it's definitely kind of strange in that way where you kind of look at those things and you're just kind of like, but for me, Scarlet and Violet has definitely been a bit tougher to grasp. I
Hmm.
thought Sword and Shield was a bit tough at first
Hmm.
because I thought Zamazenta and you know
Ozashin.
and Zacian were. I was like, man, I go, didn't we already have these? Aren't they called Reich or not Raichu? The electric legendaries. Oh my god, I just lost it.
Oh, Zekrom and Reshiram.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, it just seemed a little weird. But Sword and Shield really grew on me. Really
Yeah.
grew on me. I even played a little bit of the video game and the Wii, but when it comes to, like I said, this era, it's been tough, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's been tough.
It's not definitely not for everyone. I think I have rose colored glasses when it comes to the Pokemon series as a whole, in the sense that I am just happy to be living in the moment and just getting more and new Pokemon content. And for me, as someone that's like, I've been invested in it this long, and pretty safe to say I'm going to be in it for a long, 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 long time, maybe even till my deathbed. This is just another part of its history. So I'm just glad to be living in another moment, another chapter in its history, and experiencing it and taking it for what it is. So it's, but I enjoy the games. But like you were saying with the Scarlet and Violet, yeah, like a lot of people have been having some issues with it for sure.
Do your kids play?
No. My daughter collects some of the cards, but she only collects like her favorites. Like her favorite Pokemon is Caterpie or the Eevee evolutions and Wobbuffet and stuff. So she'll collect like cards specifically on them, or she'll get duplicates. She's now starting to watch. So she likes Real Breaking Nate, but she loves Marie, his wife,
Oh,
and Marie has a channel.
yeah.
And so she religiously watches Marie. She's a huge fan. And now because Marie is starting to do unboxing videos, she's starting to want to get into whatever Marie is doing.
Oh,
It's so
okay.
adorable. Yeah.
And she's so
Um,
nice. I was happy I got to meet her and Nate
yeah,
in
they seem
person.
really nice.
Yeah, they're very nice people for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I've chatted to Nate a few times, like online and like on comments and stuff like that. And he does. He seems really nice. Seems very genuine, which is nice. And that's another thing in the Pokemon community is it's nice to have people like that you can, that have that positivity. It's so needed, especially now. So it's a nice
Oh yeah.
change.
I was just gonna say, what do you're where you're at in this content creating world of Pokemon? You're pretty much in a very positive space of the hobby. It's there's
Yeah.
just people. You just don't have people talking trash about plushies or, I mean, the video game world. Obviously, that's a whole different ballgame.
It's a
But
whole different ball game. Oh, for sure. And honestly, if I can say it, like, being a female in the gaming industry is not the easiest. It's getting better, but it's, it has its moments. But because I've been in it for so long, I know where to step and where not to step.
yeah,
But for the most part, like, knock on wood, I've had so many nice people. You always get like the one or two, but honestly, like, it doesn't matter. You just block, move on with your day, right? But everyone has been so nice. And it's so nice to, when you share something, have someone share a favorite memory about a game or a favorite moment in a game that they love. Even with the cards and stuff like that too. It's just so nice to be able to just bond over nostalgia.
yeah, and like I said, I think one of like obstacles to overcome for you, for like a female in it, is because, like we talked about earlier, is we have this younger group of people coming into Pokemon now that we've all been kind
Mhm.
of waiting for, because we're like, who's going to take the next thing?
Yeah.
This group of people, those more interested in the investment money aspect of the hobby, I
Mhm.
think, in my own personal opinion, than
Yeah.
they are anything else. And
Yeah.
so I think with the same thing with the females is that they've kind of seen where they can make a lot of money
Mhm.
being a creator now, because
Mhm.
they're being a little more risque in doing what they're doing. But when you watch them, when you watch their gaming or you watch their talk about cards and stuff, you can just see that there's a very big, like, very what's the word I'm looking for? Lack of knowledge about this stuff. It's like you almost sometimes wonder, what are they here for? Like, are they here because they really enjoy the hobby, or are they just trying to
Mm.
make a dollar? Because unfortunately, they get that little thirst trap thing kind of going there with guys, and guys do it. They do it, and it sucks for someone like you and several other content creators out there that are really well respected, who are making epic content, and you're a hardcore gamer. And I think you get the same thing, you know. And so you have the same thing going on right now, like I said, with the guys in this space. Like you said, I turn on every channel now, and anybody I turn on to is pretty much, it's all they're talking about is money, 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 making money, money, money on the stuff.
Mm.
And there's, you know, I in fact I had a comment kind of got to me. I'm not gonna lie to you. I know you don't let comments get to me. And the guy was just like, you know, you could have opened those 11 packs up in like 2 minutes. What are you taking all this time for? And, you know, like, well, because I'm not, he's like, and he was like, you should be opening those with scissors. You should be damaging the cards. And, you know,
Oh no.
yeah, like literally. And I'm just like, well,
Mm.
one, I'm admiring, it's a brand new set. I'm
Mhm.
admiring the set. I'm admiring the artwork. I'm
Mhm.
showing people who haven't seen it yet. As for opening, I don't give a care about the value. And I said,
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure I've been doing this for a long enough time. I've seen people pull out cards that look like they should have been damaged and ruined like for like 20 years, and they get
Mhm.
graded a 10. So like there's
Yeah.
this minds, you know, it's just, I think what it is, it's just a different group of people coming into the
Yeah.
hobby with a different mindset. Because
Yeah.
again, at the end of the day, I think the money aspect now has really become big in our hobby as it is in any hobby now, you know.
Mhm.
YouTube and you know, I didn't realize how many people um pay to have their videos all pushed and all the stuff like that.
Oh,
And
really?
oh yeah, it's become such a huge thing now. You can totally tell when
Oh.
people pay, because when someone pays to have their videos pushed, there there's a difference in their ratios. So like if they've only got 1,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers, but their videos are all getting mega numbers, it's typically
Mhm.
because they're paying to have that promoted and pushed.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it, but
Yeah.
they're in it to get to the money quickly, which is great. I
Right.
mean, I want to make money on this. I would love to, you know, as
Mhm.
a live for making a living. Sure, definitely want
Yeah.
to do it, but
Yeah.
I just look at it a little bit differently. So I think it definitely comes down to the people that are in the space and how the hobby
Mhm.
grows and stuff like I said. And being a gamer, like you said, it can be pretty. I know the gaming world from years back was pretty toxic back then, so I can only imagine. But like I said, you're kind of in this niche right now with a lot of like the clothing and the plushies, and
Yeah.
even with a little bit of cards, where you're in a nice bubble there where everyone's really super positive and great. Because right now in the TCG world, I'm kind of starting to see like more of that gaming side come out of people. Because like you said,
Mm.
it's everyone looks at everything now as money, and I
Yes.
do too. Don't get me wrong. Like you said, you know, you and I, we take care of our stuff. We
Yes.
take care
Yeah.
of it for many reasons. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, sometimes you
It's
gotta cut
yeah.
me off because I will ramble to death.
No, I love it. This is no. I'm like I'm sitting here like go on. Like this is awesome. I love this. This is fantastic.
This is a good time to say
It's
my
true though.
sponsor, Dubby. I'm really hyped up right now because I've been drinking this all day.
Love it.
Which you can
Yeah.
get
No.
EpicTube HD 10% off at Dubby, by the way.
Ooh. That sounds really
Um,
good.
but yeah, it's such a weird tipsy topsy topic to talk about sometimes, you know, in the hobby
Hmm.
is being positive versus being negative, because I really
Hmm.
think, like, I've been kind of lately, I've been trying to hold, because I'm an investor too. I do collect, I invest, I have big collection over here. You know, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say like I'm not, but my investment reasons are kind of different though. They're not necessarily monetarily. Like I've said this before in the show, I'm thinking about my boys, my kids.
Hmm.
So
And that's exactly it. Yeah.
when we were, you know, like when we were young, I don't know about you, but me, I didn't have parents who put stuff aside for me, or I didn't think
Hmm.
about like 20 years from now I want to have these things, you know. Now that I'm older, we all look back and go, dang, man, I wish 10 years ago I kept all that, you know, that thing I had, you know, sealed or whatever. So I'm kind of doing that for my kids. So like everything I buy, I always buy it in like multiples, and I put it away in a bin. And so that way when they get out of this phase of not liking Pokemon anymore and they come back to it, because we all tend to come back, it'll be there for them. And then they can do whatever they want.
Exactly.
Rip it, sell it. I don't care. Right?
That's a great idea. Another thing I collect is I don't know if you ever heard of the doll line Monster High. So I collect Monster High dolls, and they're done by Mattel. They're essentially like Universal Monster Barbies kind of thing, and they're a huge line. But they have a collector's series now. And the dolls are worth hundreds of dollars. So same thing again. I've been keeping them all in boxes. I have original ones from 10 years ago. And I'm saving them for my daughter when she's older, or my son if they want them. Both my kids want them, and then they can sell them when I die.
What is it called again?
Monster High.
All right. See, now I'm typing on my keyboard. It already just muted me. Watch it do some weird crap.
No. I can still hear you.
Monster Hide?
Monster High, so like high school.
Oh, okay.
And I love them. I love Universal monsters. So like Frankenstein monster, Dracula. That's another thing is like, surprise, the Gengar fan is a huge monster fan. What a shock. Horror fan. So I gravitated to these dolls, and I never played with dolls as a kid. I didn't like Barbie dolls. I liked action figures. I had Ninja Turtles. I have a huge Ninja Turtle collection. I love all those kinds of things. So I never played with dolls. So if these dolls were around when I was a kid, I would have been obsessed with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I've seen these. Yeah, I know. I've seen this stuff before. Okay,
they're really cool. They have
my daughter has.
Draculas.
She has. Yeah, no, she doesn't have any of this, but she has. Okay, yeah, my daughter at one point liked this stuff, but then kind of got off. We got into the LOL thing for a while, like she had to have like.
Okay.
And see, here's the problem: as with a dad that's a collector.
Yes.
I tend to take what she likes, and it somehow gets like imprinted on me to the point where I'm like, let's go to the store, see if they have any LOLs. Like,
I love that. It's so true, though. It is so true. It is. It's because you almost feel a sense of it's not like pride, but I can't explain.
Whoops.
Hobby. I want to celebrate in your hobby.
Yeah, I don't, yeah.
Seeing them have joy from something, it's almost like it's like a high almost. It's like I want to be involved in that.
Yeah. And like I said, I think it's just part of the whole, like, us wanting, as a collector, we're all collectors at hearts. And
yeah,
it's interesting though, because like I said, anytime she's gotten into something, my boys were the same way. I mean, they got into, first it started with Thomas the Train. Yeah. Yeah. My oldest, who's 17 now, it was Thomas the Train. But of course it was like, I think it was more me than him at some point, but yeah, I mean, we have like
it always is at some point.
Yeah, and then like we still have every single ounce of it. I mean, I have buckets of tracks, and
that's amazing.
We used to build like on the downstairs of our house. I mean, we'd literally build tracks like from the living room all the way back to the kitchen. Like we do all stuff, and most parents are like, pick that up. I'm like, no, let's build bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that. I'm that person. I was that kind of dad that did
amazing.
That stuff. So yeah, a little over too, like, cause like I said, I'm still, unfortunately, where a lot of us are still kids at heart, no matter what age we are.
Yes.
And I think a lot of it comes back to also, I think, your upbringing. Mm-hmm. For me, my upbringing was very poor, very little, very poor, very rough. So I'm one of those kids that said, when I get older, I can buy what I want now because I didn't have any of that stuff when I was little. And I think that, it's had both a positive but also a negative effect because you tend to start going a little overboard sometimes. So, But the good thing about me is I always have no problem like getting rid of the stuff when it's time to get rid of it. Like, yeah,
Right.
I enjoyed it. Time to move on. I'll say goodbye to it. The one thing that hasn't said goodbye so far has been my card collecting in Pokemon. That has literally stuck around because I'm always around it. Just it always seems like no matter where I'm at, I'm always around it. And so I think that's always been a fun thing for me. What other things have you collected outside of, let's say, Pokemon? What's another big thing you collect? Monster High, anything else?
Yeah. Yeah. So I love Ninja Turtles. I was not around when they first came out, but I grew up with older cousins that I was really close to, and one especially, he passed down a lot of his Ninja Turtles, and like we played the game together, like the Turtles in Time and stuff like that. So I was hooked. So I have my favorite Ninja Turtles, Michelangelo. So I have a Michelangelo collection. I have like 3 little shelves of him. And I have an action figure, like basically one main one from each generation of Ninja Turtle, because there's been different iterations of the Ninja Turtles over the years.
Oh man, you would have loved to have gone to a Collecticon in 2022. So 2022 was the year that Collecticon really blew up in the United States. Now, I know you guys don't have them in Canada yet,
No.
but they had in 2022 they had signed Vanilla Ice to perform at all their Collecticons, and Vanilla Ice would bring the turtles with him every single time. Yeah, so
Do the ninja rap?
yeah,
That's
he did
amazing.
the ninja rap. He'd have the ninjas, and like totally legit costumes. I mean, not like throwing a Walmart mask on or something. Like like completely legit. These guys were serious.
That's amazing.
Which was super cool. So I actually have it in one of my videos. I want to say it's the Long Beach video that I filmed, but I filmed his little concert he gave, and you see the ninjas up on stage with him doing all their stuff. But
that's so cool. I'll have to check it out. That's awesome.
In 2022, yeah, he everywhere he went, he had the turtles with him. That was right up your alley.
Love that. That is so cool. I would have loved to see that. It's funny too, because like I found the few times I have posted about Ninja Turtles, he has liked it randomly.
Oh, really?
So he must follow Ninja Turtle. He must follow the hashtag Ninja Turtles, and then whenever something pops up,
100% huge. Yeah, he's a huge nut. I follow his YouTube channel.
Oh yeah,
and he talks a lot. Yeah, he's a huge nut about that stuff. So he was such a nice person. I got to go to several Collecticons in 2022 and 2023, and this year I only went to one because again my just life has taken priority this year for a lot of things. So, but I was supposed to go to a bunch of them this year, and hopefully I should go to a bunch next year. I'm hoping, because I've talked to the guys already at Collecticon. Great, I love them. They're like some of the best people that run Collecticon. There's a lot of events out there, a lot of cons. But the guys at Collecticon have been super, super great about having us creators come in and stuff. And but Vanilla Ice was super cool. I got to meet, I think, like 3 or 4 times, and he was such a nice person. And to literally watch, like, you would see him perform. He gave it all, and he would stay longer than he's supposed to. He would immediately come off stage, go to the backstage, and immediately start taking photos and talking to everybody. And because they had like a VIP line, like he just didn't stop. I saw other guests didn't do that type of thing, but he didn't. He literally gave everything up. And I know people got tired. I don't know. I've always loved, you got to understand, I used to go to our hockey games when Vanilla, I remember we'd be on road trips, and we would be playing, my best friend Eddie, we'd be playing Vanilla Ice in his dad's car. We'd be playing Vanilla Ice in the car, listening to Ice Ice Baby and all the songs on our way to the games and stuff. So I grew up with it. I loved it. But yeah, he kind of wore people out, I think, at Collecticon, because every Collecticon, it was the same repeated thing overall. It's just a concert series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so, but I don't know. Every single time I heard it, I loved it. So,
yeah. That's awesome.
But the Ninja Turtles, though, that was, man, you missed it. You missed it. That was your time.
One day I'll have to come out. I'm going to my first Pokemon regionals this year, which I'm excited about. I'm gonna go to the one in Toronto. So
That's
I just
coming
got
up
tickets for it actually
February,
in
January.
December.
Oh, it's next month.
Yeah.
Oh crap! I didn't know it was that long.
Yeah. Yeah.
They got
So
Lyac right now happening in Brazil.
oh
The
really?
Yeah, in Brazil right now, the South American Championships are going on right now, literally. Yeah,
Wow.
they're in day. What's
That's
it? Day
crazy.
one.
That happened
It's
really
day one
fast.
right now for them.
Okay.
So I was supposed to go. Well, I don't want to say supposed to, but I was invited to go to Louisville a couple months ago, and then I got invited
Oh,
to go to
cool.
Baltimore. But again, it was, I also didn't know if I could go
Mm.
because I, you know, with Pokemon Company, in order to film, they have lot of very specifications of
Mhm.
what they want you they basically want you to do and what you don't want you to do. So I wasn't too sure if I could just show up without contacting anybody, because
Right.
I have tried contacting them recently to
Mm.
find out about 2025, but I didn't know about, like, can you just go to a regional and, like, if you're not playing, can you just show up and film and stuff? You have to have a badge and all that stuff. So
Mhm.
I didn't want to waste my friend's time going with him and then not being able to do it. So I
Right.
decided I'd end up not going. But you're gonna have the one in Toronto. Are you gonna play in it, or are you just gonna go there to be a creator
I'm just gonna go there to be spectator and
or a
just
spectator?
watch. Yeah, spectator. I've got spectator badges just to like watch, and I'm definitely not like I kind of know how to play the game. I definitely know how to play like the OG Wizards of the Coast game. So, but I haven't like uh and I've played like Pocket, like TCG Pocket and stuff like that. So like I have an idea of how to play, but I am not confident in my skills to go up against someone else without being like, oh. And then with the games and stuff like that, I just one day maybe with like the video games I might, but for right now, I want to be there and spectate and just see, take it all in, and just enjoy the sights and the event itself.
It's a great thing to do. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
what really stinks is the Worlds was my first time going to a Pokemon event. Now I've been to a lot of events for
Oh,
other card games, but that was my first event for Pokemon that I'd ever been to. Like outside of a card store. I've been to
right.
several card store events, but it's like I kind of, in my mind, I have these expectations. That's how every event is supposed to be. So I don't
Mhm.
know. I'm so curious to see what a regional would be like. Um, yeah, I definitely need to get to one for sure. But I'm hoping 2025 get to hear back from Pokemon. Is that something that you're gonna try and do as well?
I am, yeah. I don't know. I might reach out to them and be like, "Do you need filming content? I can help." We'll see. I'm so shy when it comes to that stuff because I'm so afraid, and they're so nice. This thing, they're so nice. I'm just so afraid of like burning any bridges, and I would never do anything to do that. But I mean, I'm just so. It's like this is my dream collaboration. So I'm like cautiously, it's like trying to lure a baby deer.
Believe me, I
Cautiously take my time. Do I email them? Do I message them? No, I'll wait until they contact me. But if they don't contact me, how else am I supposed to? How else are they supposed to know I exist? Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things.
I'm of the mindset you have to be aggressive. Um, because I've just sat around, years past and watched things
Yeah.
get by. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely more aggressive. That's why I said I reached out
Hmm.
already regarding 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty aggressive in that way, but I have that same fear that I don't want to do something that might be like, and I did have a small little thing that happened at Worlds. I don't think I've ever discussed or said anything. Um, but I'm like thinking in my head, like, did I upset them now? Because, in your head, you're like, I did
You
everything I
get in
could
your
to
head.
please them. Did I do this one little thing that could have possibly upset them or something?
Hmm.
But at the end of the event, when we were all done, we had to get out of our room that they had for us, the content creators, and I had all my stuff in there, and I got stuck in the main hall, and security wouldn't let us back out, and they're calling me. They were
Oh.
like messaging me on Discord, like, "Hey, we need you to get to the room. You gotta get your stuff out." I'm like, I'm trying to get there. They're not letting me through, and
Oh.
by the time I got up there, the two reps from Pokemon had all my stuff. They were carrying my stuff.
Oh.
And
Oh,
I
that's
know they
nice of
probably weren't the
them.
happiest of people about that. because I had a lot of crap. And I just felt so
Oh.
terrible, and I'm like, oh, I hope they don't hold that against me. But I have to.
No, I don't think they would.
You have that same. You do have that mindset in you that you just don't want to do anything,
Yeah.
to like cause a problem or have them think of
Yeah.
you as a problem. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm hoping
exactly.
that. But yeah, I was like, I was trying to get out of there, and
Oh, no, that doesn't sound like a you problem at all. I thought you were gonna say, like, oh, well, I
oh
climbed down a
no, I
bunch
was
of
just like,
tables
I
and
was
caused a
trying to get.
ruckus.
I was trying to get out of there, and I was waiting for them. And the thing was, we had no reception in there because obviously there's like what I think it was like 5 to 10,000 people, in the at the end ceremonies. So
Mm.
there was like no already there was no service. We were having such a
Mhm.
difficult time. We were trying to play Pokemon Go the whole time. We were having such a difficult time once you were in the building. It was so hard to play Pokemon Go just
Oh,
because of that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was
That's
once you were in the
crazy.
building. Outside the building was different. You were fine. And
Mhm.
then, like I said, I was just panicking, like, oh my gosh, like, have they tried to message me back? And I was trying to get out. Security's like, you can't go that way because they were trying to get people out of the building. And I don't know
Oh,
what, I
okay.
don't know for whatever reason, but they were trying to get everybody out of that building as quick as they could. I'm just wondering if there was a time limit that maybe they had to abide by or they're going to get charged
Oh,
money or something.
maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm
Oh,
definitely hoping 2025 for sure. I've already told my wife I'm making plans to
yeah.
hopefully go, hopefully be there. I've put it in the books for August. Don't do
Nice.
anything. So hopefully we can get there. Hopefully we get there.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Last thing I was gonna bring up was the Pokemon Pocket. So
Yes.
what are your thoughts on Pocket so far?
I've been really enjoying it. I like opening up the boosters and stuff like that. My pull rate is not that great. Um, okay, the only complaint that I have with it is, you know how like you have the hourglasses and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I need like 7 of them, 12 of them, and then on top of that like an extra gold? Like, I just find there's too many different forms of currency in this game as well, that it's like, why do I need to have so many? I know why they want to have so many, because look at, they made 12 million within the first 3 days. It's
Yeah.
clear why that
Yeah.
is. I just don't appreciate it in that sense. But other than that, I love it. Like, the art is gorgeous, like absolutely gorgeous. The one Gengar card is a Japanese card that was never brought into the English set. So to see that in the pocket, I was like freaking out. I was so excited to see that finally. But
The
it's
when you
yeah,
see
how
the
about
art
you?
without the hollow, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's
get to remember when they're
beautiful.
designing cards. What I learned through once again through MetaZoo, what I learned, and also by making my own card. This is one of the problems that hung me up getting my card done in time. Was that they have to make the art very very specific for the hollows, and
Hmm.
so that's why sometimes the art, like you said, not we're seeing the art now in its true form because they're not
Hmm.
worrying about the hollow patterns. That's why the
Yeah.
art just pops and looks so good. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. It's so crisp, it's so clean. Like, the ones that they chose, especially like the full arts. Oh my god, they're so beautiful. So like, I think it's great, and like seeing how many people are playing it is also really cool. It's another thing that's bringing people together in the community, which I love. I'm all for that. But yeah, just my only gripe with it is the currency and like the different forms of currency, and that you have to have a certain amount of this in order to open another booster. It's like, I just want to open another booster. And it's like, no, you have to pay if you want to open up another booster, or you have to wait a few hours.
It reminds me of Pokemon Go. Like everybody wanted Pokemon Go to advance to a much more like
Yeah.
strategic and game. What made me love Pokemon Go, and I was a Pokemon Go player from day one, 2016.
Oh, I'm
It,
still playing. I love it.
yeah, I still play today. Now I did have my issues. I did kind of walk away for a little bit. And when I say walk away, I still open the game up every single day to like catch something or do something. But I pretty much
Yeah.
walked away from being the hardcore that I was, because I was one of the definite early people to hit level 40. There used to be a list. There
Wow.
was a list that used to go around, and I mean, this list had people from Singapore and everywhere around the world on it, and I was on that list. And we had a
That's
group in
so
Atlanta
cool.
that hit level 40 very early because we used to just grind.
Hmm.
But I love Pokemon Go for the simplicity of the game. It was
Mm-hmm.
just literally I just throw and catch,
Yeah.
throw and catch. When they
Yeah.
started adding all this other stuff in, I just like I feel like because life is already so complicated with so many things going on,
Yeah.
and the little enjoyments I try to have, they need to be kind of quick and easy. I hate to say that, but
Yes. Yeah.
like
No, it's
not.
true. Yeah.
And so that was a great thing about
It's
Go.
yeah.
And now it's like, oh, we want you to battle. We need you to do all this. We need you to do all that.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, man, so I rarely battle. Even
Yeah,
opening
I'm the
gifts up,
same.
I'm terrible.
Oh, okay. See, that's the one thing that I do like is if you have a lot of friends, so I have like about like 300 friends. If you you have a limit of like how many gifts you can send and how many you can receive.
Yeah.
But I remember when I first started playing, I was like, "Oh, I keep running out of Pokeballs and I don't want to have to pay for more." But if you have enough friends and you send enough gifts and they give you gifts, there's a higher rate that you're going to get a bunch
Yeah.
of balls inside of one of the gifts. So then I just kept like, well, I'm just going to send gifts to people and then receive them in return. And then we all just give each other Pokeballs back and forth. So then I never had to worry about paying for them again. And I haven't had to pay for Pokeballs in a long time.
That's normally when I go to the gifts. When
Yeah.
either I because I have a lot of Japanese friends on there, so I'll either open theirs up just so I can have the eggs from Japan.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, or like you said, I'm out of balls because I haven't been able to
Yeah.
go like get a bunch. So like that's right now. I'm literally out right now, pretty much. I think I'm down to almost nothing left, and
Oh, no.
I'm like, I don't really have time to go down to the park and hit the stuff for like a half an hour.
Yeah.
So I'll just open up the people's gifts. So I'll hit the 20 gifts and yeah, do this.
Nice.
I do that too. I don't mind opening the gifts. It's just the gifts. Like I said, it's a time thing.
Yeah.
And I've got a billion things going on in my head. I'm
Yes.
thinking of all this other stuff I want to do. It's like,
Yeah.
and I think that's the hardest part about, like I said, playing a video game. I love to play games when I have an opportunity. It's just I just don't feel like I have an opportunity because I always feel there's something else going on. It's like, do I want to spend the next hour to 3 hours playing a game, or do I want to, and I don't even watch that much TV anymore. I mean, I don't watch sports hardly anymore. I don't watch it. I'm saying I live on a soccer field. My older son, that's time I could be probably doing it. And even then, I'm doing a billion other things on my phone besides that. It's like I always find something else to do because there's just so much else going on, and it's hard to keep my attention to one thing. But again, it's crazy world we're living in, I guess. But at least we have these choices, right?
That's it. And these little distractions and little things in life to bring joy, right?
Hi, girl.
It's always important finding those little moments.
You don't come back. I'm sorry.
Do you have a visitor?
She never comes back here.
Oh.
What are you doing? That's Luna. Luna, the cat that my son saved on a soccer field a year ago.
That's amazing.
She never comes back here. Oh, now she's gone. She's also a little itch too, by the way.
Oh.
She's mean.
Oh.
We saved her, and she's mean. Normally, I have surprisingly not one time have we had a cat jump. This is a jumping right here.
Yeah.
They go from my desk to this upper part that I have up here.
Oh,
and
okay.
it hasn't happened once. I don't know where they're at tonight.
Aw.
Yeah, we
That's
have 6
so you guys found her, eh? Aw. Cat distribution system working at its finest. Love it.
They're killing us, man. These cats are killing us. It's
I love it. They're so good. I have 2. I don't know where they are right now. I think they're upstairs.
Ours have peeing wars in the house, so that's just to
let
you. Yeah. Not a fun. It's not a fun thing anymore. It used to be, and now it's like, when we get rid of them? We love animals, so we're not like that, but I'm to the point.
It's weird that like urinating and pooping on the floor and stuff like that is like a form of protest for them.
Well, we don't deal with the poop part. That's just my dad. But from everything else, unfortunately, it's an unfortunate reality for us now here in our house. I had to take my dad in a year ago. He has dementia, so we had to move him in with us. But I literally deal with the pooping on the floor. It's a very unfortunate, crazy situation that we have to just deal with it, right? There's no choice. So, but the great thing I always say is the cats prepared us for this. So
Oh.
Yeah, it's either we either walk downstairs to a mess from a cat, or we walk downstairs to a mess from the dad. It's one of the two. So
Aw.
Mike says I got 3 cats, 2 males, with people. That's where we messed up, Mike. That is where we messed up. It's
Oh.
the male. Yes, the
It's
male
the male.
cats.
Our cat
Yes.
Link does the same thing. He will, for whatever reason, he forgets where the litter box is and he'll just poop on the floor randomly. He doesn't pee, he just poops on the floor randomly. And it's like, buddy, what are you doing? You're feet away from it. But he also has
Wow.
arthritis. So we think that maybe he has a hard time getting into the litter box. So
Oh,
he
that could
just
be,
goes,
yeah.
oh, oops. But yeah.
No, ours are just the 4 males just fighting over who gets to do where. And the
Oh my
worst part is,
goodness.
so we have a 2-story house, and our stairs has a landing. So it comes down, and then it has a landing, and it turns to go back down the rest of the way. And
Okay.
they use the landing now as a spot to leave their mark. I'm like, you couldn't pick a worse spot. You know, first of all, how hard it is to clean, and
Yes.
then it's like, just to even fix that area, because it's stairs, is really hard,
Yeah.
because they've already damaged the board, they've damaged the wood. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
but that's been the hardest part, having these cats, is because we have older ones and we have younger ones, and like, she's the youngest now. She's the baby
Oh.
one. But yeah, she usually lives downstairs. She's like on her own. She's a sweet girl when she wants to be, but she's the worst one to get mad. She gets
Yeah.
very, yeah, like she
That hunter instinct.
lets you touch her. Like, she'll let you touch her for like a second. Like, she'll take a couple of pets,
Yeah.
and then after that, it's like, don't touch me anymore. And if you're like,
Yeah.
no, I still want to pet you, she'll bite, scratch, or whatever she does. I mean, yeah, but she's nice to my son who saved her, which is a good thing. Because that, we're like, that's your cat,
Oh.
dude. You gotta
Yeah.
take care of her.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's awesome.
but yeah. But listen, I'm gonna let you run. It's been a long time. I know we've lost a lot of the audience, because again, it's fight night. I already got a few people
That's
asking
right.
me, like, "Are you watching?" I
The
was looking at my
fight.
phone, and I see the notes popping up,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm
Amazing.
not there yet.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me tonight during the fight.
No, I appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. I definitely appreciate it.
Anytime. This was so much fun. Thank you for having me.
I definitely appreciate it. Again, my goal for the show, I don't care necessarily about the size of someone's channel. That doesn't matter to me. What I cared about was, I want to have interesting people on that I think bring something really fun from the hobby, something that they excel in. I think that's really fun. And like I said, when I put the list of names together, the first thing I was thinking about was, well, a lot of the crew that we met in our world's Discord, first of all, the ones who were very being communicative to one another, which we were. Not everybody was, but there was a group of us that were. And I was like, these are great people who have fantastic personalities, great collections, varied collections. Like K Barry Kim is another great, fantastic person I got to meet.
Yeah. Oh, I love Kim. Yeah.
Again, her and I, we share the fact that we both worked for an airline. That was something we kind of shared
Yes.
together, and we could share like some of our airline stories, and
Yeah.
a crazy collection of plushies. Again, another
She's a beautiful collection of plushies.
another
One of the best.
and it's things like that I was like, these are the kind of people I think that would be fun to have on, and they can share their interesting stories. Because again, a lot of times it's either people who are only showing a very smidget bit of their personalities through some small video, short form content, or they're just
Mhm.
doing photos. I'm like, and like I wanted to see a little bit more of this from them. And I think that
Mhm.
was one thing I said I had you on my list, was because when I started looking at your content, I said, top level quality content,
Thank
does
you.
a great
Thank
job
you.
of it, crazy insane collection. Because you're the kind of people who we look at and go, how in the world do you have such a crazy collection? And I said, I kind of saw that you had your family, you have you have kids and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, it is motivating to see someone who can run a family, but yet still live and enjoy and grow in this great, world that we're all having, we all have a passion for. So
Hmm.
thank you again for coming on. I greatly
Thank
appreciate it.
you again. I really appreciate this. Was so much fun.
Definitely. And we'll definitely have to try to do it again at some point in time.
Absolutely. Let me know when, and I'll be there.
Definitely. Well, you have a great night. Thank you again. Have a good one, Allie. See ya.
Thank you too, Harley. Take care.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Let's say thank you again, Allie, to Allie for coming on the show. But that is definitely going to do it. Mike Tyson knocks Paul out in third round, says Mike. Water bottle with a spray nozzle, stop all that. Yeah, we tried all that, Mike. We've tried all that. We've tried every trick you can possibly imagine. It just doesn't work. But anyways, thank you again to Allie. I appreciate her coming on the show. Hope you guys enjoyed our conversation tonight. As of right now, our next guest, I believe the next guest scheduled, comes from Japan. So we're still trying to figure this one out. I'm going to be taking the holiday week off. So there'll be no guest, as far as I know right now, from now until probably the 1st of December. We have a lot going on, so I probably won't have any guests on. I didn't even try to think to book a guest at this point. I'm trying to book December's guest out. Again, I know I have a couple already lined up, but I believe our next guest will be coming all the way from Japan. And before I announce who it is, I just want to make sure we have everything ironed out first. But again, what a great night, guys. I really had a great time having Allie on. Try to get Alex from Nostalgianomics on, says Pokemon. Yeah, I'm gonna have I do have some people on from the investing world. I do have some plans for them to come on the show. I already had Rob Burns on, who I thought was a great person to have on as well. But thank you for the suggestion. Definitely will put it down in the books. Not sure if he'll want to come on though, because I know I've definitely done a couple of videos, Mike. I've done a couple of videos discussing Alex, so I don't know. We'll have to see how that works out. But I don't have anything against him. It was just strictly talking about some of the investment type stuff. But other than that, that is going to definitely do it for tonight. And again, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Again, we have various creators on. It's a TCG world out there, but everybody does a little something different. I think that makes it really fun. But that's it. Till the next one, guys. Have more epic adventures with us here at EpicTube HD. Peace out. See you, everybody. Good night.